Good evening. Welcome to Strong and Sassy. Thank you for keeping your dial here on 99.7 Joy FM. This is your favorite midweek talk show with strong, sassy and intelligent women bringing their perspectives on a wide range of issues, and tonight will be no different. Well, these days it's not strange when someone says they are an entrepreneur, and it appears many people are not restricting themselves to their day job to earn income. But most often they do it on the side. But there are others who pluck up the courage to walk away from their 9-to-5 jobs entirely to explore new opportunities on their own. So today we're discussing the transition from employee to entrepreneur. What would make you give up a job that may or may not be paying you thousands of cedis, and where you may have job security because at least you're guaranteed your month? Let me introduce them to you. First is Ivy Bale, and Ivy is a social entrepreneur and currently shaping a world where more African women will be daring enough to lead in science, technology, engineering, and maths fields. She's a co-founder of Developers in Vogue, an organization that trains females in the latest technologies and connects them to real-time projects and jobs. And in 2017, she was named as one of the 50 most influential young Ghanaians. And guess what? She holds a master's degree in mathematical statistics. Hey, Ivy. Hello and welcome to the show. Great. We also have Abna Jiman, who owns Wear Ghana, a Ghanaian clothing brand that is focused on becoming a globally recognized and respected African brand. It was established some 5 years ago, and she's breaking the barriers in that industry. Hello and welcome, Abna.
Hello, Araba. Hello, everyone.
Good to have you here.
Yes, same
And last but not the least, we have Mabel Simpson. I'm sure most of you have heard about M-Sims. At age 25, with a capital of about 200 Ghana cedis, Mabel resigned from her office job in August 2010 to start M-Sims with a borrowed sewing machine from her grandmother. And in 5 years, the company went international, and now M-Sims has suppliers in the US, Australia, Canada, and South Africa. Mabel, good to see you again.
Same here.
Okay, all right. So don't forget you can join the conversation via WhatsApp and also on Facebook. Let's hear your thoughts and share your experiences. So let's get the ball rolling. I'm going to start with you, Mabel, because we have some history. Mabel Simpson used to work with the multimedia company, and she resigned to set up M-Sims. Tell us about your story for the benefit of those who don't know. Tell us your story.
So I started M-Sims in 2010. After I resigned from multimedia, I joined a marketing communications company, Alcon. And I worked for a few months and then decided to start something that I'd gone to school to study. So I actually studied graphic design in KNUST.
Right.
And for me, at that point, I realized that art was my passion. And I decided to create or manufacture accessories, handmade accessories using a local print. Because at that point, I realized that, I didn't understand why people or corporate people would go to work in boring outfits, let me say that, no color or anything,
right,
except on Fridays when they had to wear something African to work, because former President Kufuor had initiated the Friday wear. Yes.
Yeah.
So I started making dress brochures and then built with African print or wax print, let me call it. And gradually we started making bags because clients were asking for handmade bags with a local print. And we moved from making bags and accessories with just wax print to leather bags. So now we make leather laptop bags, we make slippers, loafers, and we've started a new line that's men's shirts. So in 2010, we just started making brooches. Now we are making handbags.
Handbags?
Yes, good quality handbags.
Wow, what a journey. And we'll come back to your journey and the challenges that you faced, up until this point. But let me come to Ivy, who has a master's degree in mathematical statistics. Charlie, even in high school, a lot of us were struggling with maths, and to have a master's degree in mathematical statistics. Have you always loved maths or something?
Actually, I have, and it's good you're talking about this today because I went through some of my archives and I was seeing my results from high school, scoring my A1s in math. So I'm very passionate about math and technology.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons I decided to further in mathematical statistics.
Okay. So you're a social entrepreneur, or you call yourself a social entrepreneur, because you're co-founder of Developers in Vogue, right? Tell us about that.
Okay, so Developers in Vogue is a social enterprise that wants to bridge the gender gap in the tech field. So mainly we teach females how to build websites, mobile applications, and then we connect them to job opportunities. So we started this last year, and so far it's been going very well.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
So Mabel, as I indicated, used to work here at the Multimedia Group. So she was a journalist, and so she transitioned from that to full-time entrepreneurship and fashion.
Yeah.
And what were you? Were you in the corporate field before? Because I understand you're a teacher also.
Okay, so during my master's program, I decided to take up a job as a teaching assistant in a pre-university, and I really worked hard at my job, but sadly I got fired.
You got fired? Why?
I know I don't sound like someone who should be fired.
At all. You look
innocent.
so innocent.
I am.
And if you're watching on Facebook, I'm sure you can see how innocent she looks. So why did they fire you?
Well, it's quite a long story, but the whole point was that I recorded the managers of the school without their permission.
Wow.
And then they got
What
to
were
know
they
about
doing?
it. So I felt they were making some decisions that were not in favor of the school.
Okay.
So that was my motive behind it. But of course, it was against the law. And so I was
It was
fired.
against the law. Is that what they told you?
Oh, actually, that's what I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was given like 30 minutes to pack out of the school.
Wow.
It was really traumatizing for me because that was officially my first job.
Right.
And I mean, starting my career with being fired from a job with a termination letter, it was a really, really depressing moment for me. But I had to get over it quickly because I had an option. But that was good. I had two options. Would I cry about it, or would I take that misfortune and turn into something bigger? So I decided to go with the latter, and it's
Here
been a
you are
good
now.
journey. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, what about you, Abena? You own Wear Ghana. Were you in the corporate field before deciding to branch out on your own?
Yes, I was, but I'm co-founder of Wear Ghana.
Okay, co-founder.
So, yes, I have a very active co-founder. Shout out Angoko Naikwadi. We've been together since day one.
Okay.
But yes, I was a banker. But my story, if you were to ask me, started before the bank.
Okay.
So during national service, I did my service with New York University in Ghana. They have a study abroad site. And I realized that these foreign students would come in, and when they were leaving, they would have Ghana Must Go full of African prints.
Okay.
I didn't own one. And so it got me thinking, why am I here and I don't have any of this gold that these people are carrying away?
Right.
So that's, I think, when I started playing with the idea of this is something good, I started making some of the clothes myself. And by that, I mean designing the clothes. Then I went to the bank, was there for like about 4 years. And so I was telling a friend, I want to learn how to sew. And he's like, I've never even seen you with a needle. I'm like, I really want to learn how to sew. I was just yobbing, really. Okay. Then come Val's Day, he goes and orders sewing books from Amazon, and now I'm like, wow, I have to take this seriously, right? So I promised him I'm going to make him the first shirt I ever make will be his.
Right.
Like 9 months down the line, I haven't done anything sewing at all. But to cut a long story short, I made him the first shirt. And by that again, I mean designed the first shirt that I ever made. Gave it to him, he liked it, made another one for another friend, he liked it.
Not to cut you, but often when we hear about people working at the banks, we have this impression that, you're earning so much money and you're so comfortable. What would make you walk away from, a supposedly good paying job to start off on your own?
Yeah, and the reason is in the story where at some point after I'd made these couple of shirts and gotten some of my colleagues interested, I realized that I found much more joy in this thing that had become my hobby that I was doing over the weekends than the job that I was doing.
Okay, so
Monday
whilst you're in the
Friday.
bank, you were doing
So whilst I was in the bank, I started. So my colleagues became my customers, and I'd walk to the bank and they would say, "Hey, Wear Ghana," because I had gone to register at that time.
Right.
It got to the point where I had to make a choice because I had applied to another bank. I went for the interview, I got the contract, And I look at the money and it was really exciting. I was going to get about 3 times what I had been earning. And I realized I wasn't happy. And so I figured if a salary raise with a bigger bank wasn't going to make me happy, then banking was probably not the field I was supposed to be in. And if there was something that I'd been playing with, which gave me a lot of fulfillment, then maybe it was time to jump. And so I jumped.
So you jumped.
So I jumped.
Was it scary jumping?
It was because you see, it was moving into the unknown. And for me, at the time at least, I was very spontaneous. So I go for the interview on a Friday. By Monday, I've handed in my resignation.
Wow.
And then we are already that month planning how we launch Wear Ghana. Okay. So it was a lot of running into something that I didn't know. It was scary, but it was really exciting.
Did it ever cross your mind that, wow, where am I going to get my next salary from? Next month, it's not guaranteed. How am I going to make money?
I think that there's some blessing in being naive because I was young. I think that if it was today, I'd start thinking a lot more about it. But I just jumped. And luckily I had a co-founder who also had quit her job. She was with one of the telcos, had quit her job. She had gone into fashion school after quitting the job.
Right.
And right around the time when she had finished, we decided to come together and do this. And so we're both 2 foolish ladies who had decided to jump into something that we really didn't know. But it's worked out really well.
It's worked out really well. Nice. So that's Abna's story. Mabel, did you also how did you feel at the point where you decided that, okay, I'm leaving this job and doing entrepreneurship full time? Was it scary for you too?
I am similar to Rabna's story. I mean, I don't know whether it's sort of something with the entrepreneurs, but it wasn't really a decision I made. I just saw, I remember putting my resignation letter in a certain month, and then my boss, who used to work here,
we shan't mention names,
refused. He refused to accept the letter.
I know why. That's because you're so good. We didn't want to let you go.
Then the following month, I put it in again, and he had no choice than to accept it. And it was difficult for me to start because, yes, I'm daddy's girl. He had big dreams for me, but then, he wasn't so comfortable. Business in Ghana is very challenging, for, his child to just quit her job and then say that I want to make brooches. I mean, unheard of. How much are you going to be making?
It takes a certain kind of courage and boldness.
So for 3 years, I had to still be looking for a job while I was doing this. It wasn't easy because it was a no for him. But at that point, I told myself that, okay, I'm going to do this, make sure that I do it right and do it well, so everyone overcomes the fear. And I'm proud to say that before he passed on, he was really proud of me. And it made me happy that it wasn't a wrong decision that I made to start this. Because starting, and the journey has been very tough. It hasn't been easy. But there's always that push, something that, makes you want to wake up and then still do what you're doing despite all the challenges.
Were there people who discouraged you from, taking that particular path?
Of course.
Because, you're going into the unknown, and obviously the people would be like, hey, why would you want to leave a job that's giving you all the money that you need just to go into an uncertain area, and your future is uncertain?
Yes, certainly. I mean, society, because Ghanaians, well, now it's better, but then we're still, back then, people weren't really comfortable with purchasing made in Ghana products because people felt that good quality things or products cannot be made here. But that perception is changing. So that alone can put fear in you, and you'd say that, okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to stay in the corporate field. But then as Ghanaians, we need to take up that challenge. We need to make Ghana better. And we need to make products that, we can sell on the international market.
That's true. That's very, very true. It takes a lot of courage. Ivan, in your case, it was different. I mean, you were fired. You were fired, so it was a matter of, you didn't have an option. But, I mean, starting this Developers in Vogue, this organization, obviously must have taken a lot. I mean, what was the motivation to start this?
Okay, so I think my motivation came from the school I was working at, because it was an all-girls school. And labs. I'm a math freak, a tech freak. And so having the opportunity to make an impact in the lives of these girls was one of the highlights during my time over there. And before I would go there, I used to hear people say that women don't do well at technology, women are scared of computers, etc. But while I was there, I noticed the contrary. The girls always had very good ideas. They were very good at actually what they were doing.
Okay.
So when I left, I used to even have dreams about them, and it was so much. It was pressing on
You used
me
to have
to
dreams about them.
it
That's how
was that
passionate you
serious.
were about you.
I really was. And so I
Okay.
just decided to give this a try. I didn't even know people would be interested. So our very first boot camp, we opened applications, and in about a week we had 378 applicants.
Wow.
And we didn't even do any paid advertisement. So it was very surprising and overwhelming because I didn't.
So when you're starting, were you thinking about the money? Hey, how am I going to make money from this? Because obviously that would have crossed your mind.
It did. It did. And I actually didn't know how I was going to make money from it. I didn't even know how I was going to survive during the period I was trying to figure out how to go about things. Because already my previous job didn't pay me my last salary, so I was already in need of money at that time. But it was just giving us a try. And once I decided to start, things began to fall in place.
Okay.
And so far it's been a very good journey for us. And it keeps getting better.
I see. That's interesting. You know, a lot of people say your area, your particular area is a male-dominated area. Do you
Yeah.
see a lot of women in that particular industry?
Now it's getting better because previously I used to go for developer meetings, and I'm mostly the only woman in a group
Wow.
of like 100 men,
Okay.
or sometimes one of the very few women. So I realized that was a problem because I knew that women were interested in it. And through our work, our very last meetup, I personally brought 24 women into the meetup. And it was very exciting because they didn't just come in as attendees, but they were very active and participating in the various initiatives that took place.
I see. So you say you train young ladies in the latest technologies. What kind of
Yeah.
technologies?
Okay, so we do web development, we do
Okay.
mobile apps development,
Right.
and we also have an active data science community. So last week, one of our ladies called Jamila was in Argentina for an open data science conference. And our ladies are getting a lot of opportunities locally and internationally. So, yeah.
Okay, great. This is Strong and Sassy. It's Joy 99.7 FM. We are discussing the transition from employee to entrepreneur. Remember, you can join the conversation via WhatsApp. The number is 0244 340 437. Again, the number is 0244 340 437, or you can drop your comments on our Facebook page wall. So let's hear from you and share your experiences as well. And okay, I have a few comments here. Hey, why are you all laughing? All right, it says interesting, Araba. I just walked into a shop and immediately the theme song of your show was playing on the radio, reminding me of the show, and I'm tuning in live and listening. Regards to the panelists and keep up the good work. It's from an ardent listener, JK from Minnesota. Hey, shout out to you, JK. All right, and McCosby Anthony says, I don't know if it was my 8 to 5 working conditions that urged me to quit to start my own business. But when I decided to, after 5 years of formal employment, I quit. And with only a trust capital, I ventured into a buy and sell activity. 6 years on, I'm grateful for how far I have come. It's not easy. Sometimes you go 4 months servicing losses and costs, but the public will think all is better. Kudos to all the people in the panelists. Abna, I'm waiting. Okay, that's why you're laughing. Okay, Abna, you know him, man. He says he's waiting your order. He placed an order 2 weeks ago.
Because we have sent a message to the team, and we will get back to you.
All right, okay. So Frank Boateng Ijakwa also writes, a mathematical statistician, young female being fired because she stood for the truth and uprightness. That's Ghana for you. So kudos to you, Ivy. Kudos to you. Okay, so from what McCosby wrote, he said that he quit. He ventured into the buy and sell activity. But, sometimes you go for months servicing losses and cost. What's the cost of being an entrepreneur? Because usually what we see is the glam. It's great being an entrepreneur. I'm on my own. I'm my own employer. But I'm sure that, there's some challenges that you face. as an employer? Moving from an employee to an employer. Let me start with you, Abena.
It costs everything. And it depends on the size of the dream you are trying to build. If you just want something that feeds you and only you and maybe a few people, that is not easy. I keep saying this, I've not come across anything that's easy in this world.
But Abena, tell me the truth. Let's be frank. Have you gone months without, meeting your targets and forgoing your salary? Let's be real here. Let's be real here, so people know what it takes.
But you see, and that's the problem I have when we post a certain type of lifestyle, especially as startup entrepreneurs, because then it's deceptive to people who want to walk this road. It's not a glamorous life at all. If you are starting out, unless of course you're one of the lucky few who starts out and you have a certain type of investor who is doling out the cash and you're able to make payroll right from the start, and you're growing and you can buy the nice cars and the business is thriving. But for most of us, you are bootstrapping. What it means is that for a very long time, you're not paying yourself.
Yes.
You are.
So how do you survive?
I mean, it's a very type of frugal lifestyle. Till date, I pick trotro. I do.
Wrong with picking trotro,
but I do. And you see, there are people who feel like, oh, why? Okay. We're Ghana, we see people wearing your clothes. Why are you picking trotro as the CEO? And I'm a very real type of person.
Right.
What we are trying to build at Wear Ghana, it's scary. We are trying to take over the world of fashion, and we are trying to do it from
That's
here.
Very ambitious.
Exactly, and we are trying to do it from here. And we are not knocking on any doors begging for handouts. What it means is that you manage costs, you try to increase revenues so that there's a net profit that you can reinvest in the business. It's not a joke.
Okay.
And so if you really want to be an entrepreneur, there are certain types of questions you have to ask yourself. First of all, what is your why? Why are you coming into this, first of all? Because I wouldn't say that everyone should have the size of the dream that Wear Ghana has. If subsistence entrepreneurship is what you want to do, that's also fine. So you have something little that you take home, that's also fine. But the more the dream becomes bigger, Charlie, it's sleepless nights. And then when you ask about things like targets.
What about you, Mabel? Mabel, are you employing anyone? I mean, you've been in the business for a while now. You've been your own employer, and I know that you have some staff members, employees that you're paying. How did it feel the first time you actually took out money to pay somebody else?
That's reality. I mean, you're taking care of someone, and you know that because of what you've been able to establish, someone can also depend on you and can also look after their family. So despite all the challenges, it's very fulfilling, that people look up to you. I feel we are not telling our stories enough. We are not telling the real stories. People just see the glam of it. And you see, sometimes when you want to tell the real stories, people sort of shut you up.
Why?
Because we don't want to hear the truth. Everyone thinks that entrepreneurship is the go-to thing, or it's sort of the plan B if you are feeling bored in your work, in your 9-to-5 work.
Right.
So a lot of times people ask you, what are you doing? Oh, I'm an entrepreneur, I do this. Oh, really? I want to be in your shoes. Employ me.
Exactly.
And you tell them it's not easy, and they don't believe you.
Yeah.
There are days that if you have targets to meet, you need to stay up 24 hours to finish, because you don't want to disappoint people. You don't want to disappoint the client. If sales is not good, there are rainy days, you still need to pay people. Prices of raw materials keep going up all the time.
Okay.
So you might have a budget, you might have a plan, but most of the time you go outside the plan. And they always what people say, that they don't understand why made in Ghana products are expensive. It's not our fault that they're expensive,
The cost of manufacturing them.
Cost of manufacturing it's quite on the high side here. So it doesn't even make you competitive globally or even in the sub-Saharan Africa. Okay, all these challenges are there, but so far as we have life.
Yeah, but have you ever come to the point where you wanted to just give up?
Oh,
Let's be real here. Let's be real
give up.
here. Give up. I'm sure that you come to a point where you're so frustrated because things are not going right, and you begin to rethink your decision to even become an entrepreneur. Have you gotten to that point before?
A lot of times.
So what was what was the differing factor? I mean, like what made you decide that, okay, I'm not going to give in to this feeling of, hopelessness and despair, and I'm just going to, trudge on and make sure that I make something out of this?
You see, sometimes it's just, yes, money is good, but you need to be passionate about what you're doing. You need to love what you're doing. Mm-hmm. It's a relationship. It's a journey. You know that the journey is not smooth. I mean, if you're traveling from Accra to Takoradi, there are potholes on the road. Yeah. You don't say that, okay, because I've fallen into a pothole, I'm going to just stop the journey. You continue. And that's entrepreneurship for you. You don't give up. Because you've decided to do this. And then you think about all the people you employ. Mm-hmm. If you quit, what are they going to do? You think about your family because you're taking care of people. Mm-hmm. But most importantly, the people that you employ. Yes, they can find jobs, but these people have been loyal to you. And entrepreneurship is about teamwork. You can't do it all alone. It's about teamwork. Mm. So you think about them and you say that, okay, no, you're not going to quit. Mm. You're going to keep at this because nothing good comes easy.
Yeah, nothing good comes easy at all. Ivy, so I mean, you are into science, STEM. That's science, technology, engineering, and maths. If you look at it on the surface, I mean, I don't think a lot of people would equate it with money, starting a social and enterprise, a science-based social enterprise. People would think, how are you going to make money out of this? So how have you been able to sustain yourself? I'm sure people are guessing or wondering how you're able to make money from this enterprise you've entered.
Okay. So before we started, one thing that was very particular about sustainability, because I didn't want us to run out of money too early. And so we decided to work on our business model. We went to a couple of training from Ghana Think Foundation, InnoHub. So these were trainings they had for us in order to improve our business models. And so though we have an impact side, we're also able to make money that can sustain what we are doing. And so, of course, we don't have all the money we want, so the listeners can bring us some more money.
I see. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, you're still listening to Strong and Sassy. My name is Araba Kumsin. I'm sitting in for your regular host, Na Ashoko, and we're discussing the transition from employee to entrepreneur. If you have any questions about transitioning from your 9-to-5 job to become a full-time entrepreneur, let's hear from you. You can join us via WhatsApp 0244 340 437, or you can drop your comments on Facebook as well. So let's hear your thoughts and share your experiences with us. Okay, so we have a few of your messages. Faustina from Awo, she says, I quit my job of 14 years, 20 months. That's very specific. 14 years, 20 months. 14 years, 20 months ago in a multinational organization to start my business full time. It's been challenging and exciting at the same time. I don't pay myself any salary yet. 14. Okay.
20 months ago.
20 months ago. Okay. She's been in this job for 14 years, and she quit 20 months ago. Mm-hmm. Okay. So she doesn't pay herself any salary yet, but she says, I must say it's been very rewarding. I don't miss my previous job at all. That's Fosti from Aoshi. Nice talk. I equal to them, but I think it was kind of easy for them because they were from good homes. Hey, this is Efia in Osu. Efia, why? Do you know Efia, any of you? He says some of us want to do same, but there'll be nothing for us to eat. There'll be nothing for us to eat if we quit. No parents or husbands. So good evening. You just have to take that bold step, My name is Kwame. I'm listening live. In fact, I'm listening because of Ivy. Ooh, okay. Ooh. Ivy, you know Kwame?
I don't know.
Okay, I guess he's inspired by you. He says, but of course, shout out to the other ladies too. I'm a contact. Okay. I'm an IT guy at Wendy's corporate office in Dublin, USA. You know him? Okay, anyway. So he says, this one says, Ladies, you're so spot on. I'm a telecom engineer who has transitioned into a fashion designer. Wow. And sometimes I want to leave. The way Ghana lady is describing my hustle. Ladies, keep soaring. Yeah. That's from Trudy. And this one says, "Hi, madam. I think it's very helpful for a woman to do something on her own because she decides how much goes into her coffers and also having enough time for herself, taking care of the home to avoid the issue of house help, which is killing a lot of marriages." So this is from Joseph Ajiman from Community 9 in Tema. Thank you for your messages. Keep them coming in. Okay, and this one says, there's no... And please add your names to this. This one says, "Rabs, you're doing great because the show is exciting to listen to and one can follow the show. Kudos. Who paid you to write this thing?" All right, thank you very much. Okay, so let's continue with that. Okay, let me come to the point that I think Ifya Inosu made. She said that she thinks that it was easy for you guys because she assumes that you guys are from good homes. So if push comes to shove, your parents can support you and help you out if you're not making any money. But for some of them who don't have parents, who don't have any other family members or husbands to maybe depend on, it's that difficult for them. You agree with her?
So it depends on what she calls a good home. I am from a good home. It's not a rich one. There's no one pouring dollars on us, but it's a good home. It's a good home because it's been very supportive. Every one of my family members was there right from the start saying, go for this. But there's this motivational speaker, Les Brown, and I've seen them. And he talks about, I was hungry. The way he says the hunger, you can feel the hunger. I was hungry. And hunger is an asset. Let your hunger drive you to do things that people who have alternatives won't do. And so if it'll be unfortunate if you let your hunger stay, as in make use of that hunger. It's the hunger that's driving us, really.
I see. Okay, but Trudy says she's a telecom engineer and she transitioned into a fashion designer, but sometimes she wants to leave. Do you identify with her? Because the hassle is real, man.
As for the hassle, it's real. I remember there was a time when I had gotten to the point where there was so much, I could feel there was so much pressure on me that I'd have to force myself to cry so that I'd feel like the tension. And I'm not sad, but I have to think of something sad just to cry the tension away. So it's real pressure. But for me, I hope I never get there, but I've never gotten to the point where I feel like I should leave, because I'm convinced that this is why I'm here on earth. Like, this is my purpose. If I leave, where am I going with this? Exactly. I've been in banking and I wasn't performing badly, and yet I knew while there that wasn't the place where I could do my best. And I found this place where I know this is where I can shine. This is where I can do my best. And a lot of people go through life not finding that spot where you know without a shadow of doubt that this is why I am here. And I have found it. And I was lucky enough to find it early. So for me, it's like, I can't leave.
And you shouldn't leave. You shouldn't leave. Your story reminds me of a friend of mine who used to work at a telecoms company, and she was making a lot of money. But she's from Kwewu, and she's a natural marketer, and she felt that she was not doing what fulfilled her. So she stepped out and started doing fashion, and she's thriving, and she's able to pay people what she couldn't do before, she's able to do now. So it must be really fulfilling. But let's announce the phone lines. I'm sure a lot of people want to call in and share experiences or ask questions. So you can call in. The number to call is 0302 216 541. Again, it's 0302 216 541. And let's stay on the issue of challenges, Mabel, because it's important to talk about the real issues, paying staff salaries and all of that. Do you get to a point where you yourself are unable to pay yourself, or you've gone past that?
I haven't gone past that.
Okay, so there are times where you are unable to pay yourself.
Yeah, there are some people who earn more than I do. And
at your workplace?
Yes.
Employees?
Yes.
Oh, wow. How does that work out? Tell us. I'm sure there are eager ears listening.
No, because you see, you're building something. It's a dream that you're building, okay? And it's just not about you, but then you are in the front. Entrepreneurship is about sacrifice. It's about going hungry to see something grow. You know, if you have to eat Gary Soakins to save money for the business. Today I was telling a friend that it looks like I'm more concerned about the business than my personal self, because I spend more on the business than I spend on myself. Why is that? So it's like I'm losing focus, or I don't care about myself, or what. But that's the truth.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about you. You're building something for people. So you want to see it grow. Yes, so there are people who earn more than I do. And it's about discipline. If you're not financially disciplined, if you don't have self-discipline, you can't do this.
Self-discipline.
And financial discipline, that's key. If your finances are not right, so the first thing that you have to do is to separate your business account from your personal account. So that's the first thing that you have to do, or it's the mindset. You know, make sure that every profit is going back into the business. So even when, you know, things are not doing well, so you always need to make sure that your employees' salaries it's always intact. For that, it should always be intact. You can forgo it, but then they should be paid.
Of course.
Yeah.
If you want to sustain your enterprise. Yeah. Okay. Ivy, I mean, you are in a different field, but tell me, do you employ anyone?
Okay, so I'm currently employing 2 people.
Oh, wow.
Full time. My co-founder left, but I still love him, Maxwell.
Why? He couldn't stand the heat? Maxwell.
So I don't know if he's listening to me.
Your co-founder was a guy? He's a man.
He was
and
man,
he left.
And then he left just a few months ago. So
and you're the last man standing, so to speak.
And I'm in
last
this for
woman
life
standing.
Anyway.
I see. So you employ 2 people.
Yes.
Wow. So do you identify with Mabel, what Mabel and Abna are saying?
Yes,
like
I do.
Having to forgo, a lot of things in order to pay your the salaries of your staff.
Yes,
share your experience with us.
And sometimes it gets overwhelming because when it's getting to the end of the month, and you know that people's lives are dependent on you. And another thing we are trying to do in our organization is, because we are doing coding training, sometimes some of the ladies come for the program and then they don't have laptops to use when they go back home, and so it defeats the purpose if they come and learn and they don't have the equipment to continue at home. So we give them laptop loans so that they can use to purchase a laptop and use, and then pay us back without interest in monthly installments. So this is something we are doing to help them as well. But I mean, it's so real when it's getting to the end of the month and you know that people, they start sending you WhatsApp messages to give you the signal that they're expecting something. Yeah, so.
All right. And more of your messages are pouring through. This one is from Kobe. He says, "Hello, Araba. I started as an entrepreneur 2015, and sometimes the government agencies make you regret opening a firm to employ your own Ghanaians. Okay. So I've employed 45 youthful Ghanaians. Oh, kudos to you in my firm. And sometimes getting support from the banks. At times, it's better to close down the firm and go back to my telecom firm. I'm currently in petroleum." Oh, wow. So he says that he's facing some challenges, in terms of support from the banks. Hi, my name is Taylor, and I send a huge shout out to Ivy. Started from the bottom, now she's here. So you started from the bottom, now you're here. Keep soaring. Okay. Someone has a question. He says, "Some say entrepreneurship is the art of developing solutions to problems. What happens when the problem identified doesn't seem to fit the location or the country you are in?" Thank you. Anyone wants to pick this up?
Go to where the problem is. There's nothing that's tying you to... I keep saying that it starts from knowing your why. Like, why are you doing this? And there's a book that I really recommend to anyone who is thinking of entrepreneurship, which is Starts with Why by Simon Sinek. And so once you found that purpose, go where the solution is needed, because maybe this is why you're here.
Go where the solution is needed. Okay, so let's go to the phone lines now. We have Rock from Osu calling. Hello, Rock.
Hi, Araba.
How are you doing? I'm good, and you?
Yeah, I'm also good. Good evening to all the ladies on your platform.
Good evening.
Yeah, I'm a friend to Abna Debbie. I worked with her at BCL Pro Credit some time ago.
Okay.
And I want to say kudos to I want to say kudos to her. I know she is very dynamic and a lovely lady.
Thank
No
you.
wonder she is in the right profession.
Thank
But
you.
to say just a few words, you realize that all the ladies are trying to drive at a certain instrument called Rex. You need to take risks in life. Without risks, they wouldn't have been in that position. So I say kudos to all of them, and we pray for them that they go across the continent.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling.
So that's Rock. That's your former co-worker. Yes,
He was
yes, yes.
my business analyst. I was client relationship manager.
I see. So, Mabel, any thoughts on what this listener, the question that the listener sent in about, developing solutions to problems? That's his definition of entrepreneurship. But the challenge is when the problem identified doesn't seem to fit in the country that you're in, what do?
You look elsewhere. I mean, it's just like a business plan. There are times you draw a business plan and you don't go according to it because of certain things that come up during the course of, because you have your short term, your medium term, and then your long term goals.
Okay.
I mean, there are certain times that you need to re-strategize because certain things have come up. So if one location is not working, you move on to the next location. So that's why you need to do your research and then find out where the product is going to work best. So
Okay.
research is always important.
We'll come to that issue of research. But we have Stephen from Spintex on the line. Hello, Stephen.
Hello, Alaba.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thanks for tuning in
And
to
good
Strong
evening
and
to your
Sassy.
great panelists.
Hi.
Good evening.
So what's on your mind?
Yes, I think it's the program is a very nice program, the Esprit. But it takes very bold and courageous person to just walk out from any organization and say that you are going to set up your own business. The same applies to me. Even though I went to the US and I had a job looking at the amount was trying to give me, I was just on holidays and I look at it with my setup in Ghana. Why should I go and pay this bigger because of the dollar or what? I just spend 1 week and pack my things and come back home. But what I want to say is that if you are on your own, I call it self-enterprising. The legacy is what should be edging you on. And not maybe you are asking about, you are asking about how much they pay themselves. I have about 5, 6 guys that are paying, but if you ask me how much is my salary, I don't, for the purpose of records and maybe it's contribution, I just put this a finger there. But to say I've been taking 2,000, 5,000, whatever, I can't remember. And I don't even want to go beyond. I just want the company or whatever I'm doing to grow.
Right.
So that
right.
my children also come and inherit. So
Yeah.
I think with one of your panelists said that you can't even remember the last time he paid himself.
Yeah.
But you are looking for the welfare of
I
other
totally
people
agree.
too.
It's
Because
the
you have
sacrifice
come out
that you have to
say,
go through to sustain your enterprise. But thank you so much, Stephen. We have another Stephen on the line, and he's calling from North Legon. Hello, good evening. Okay, we've lost Stephen from North Legon. You can call in or send your message via WhatsApp, and the number is 0244 340 437, or you can drop your comments on Facebook. Let's hear from you, share your experiences, ask questions. Our panelists are here. Mabel, you're talking about research. I'm going to ask all of you this question. How necessary is it for you to research the area you're going into before you dive deep into this venture that you're going into?
Entrepreneurship is always about solving a problem. So you need to identify a problem, a particular problem, and then provide the need for that. Now, as once you identify the need, I mean it's the world is developing. So at a point you're even going to realize that the need that you're providing, people's needs or wants have changed. but you still need to keep at what you're doing. So, for instance, we started making brooches. At a point, we researched and realized that yes, people needed handbags. But even the handbags, you realize that you get to a point, people need certain types or kinds of handbags. So then you listen to the client also. So feedback is also important. So anyone who buys from us, we make sure that we send, we ask them to give us feedback on the product.
Okay.
And that also helps you to know what you're manufacturing is
it's
actually
addressing the needs of the clients.
yes.
Okay, feedback is very important. Okay, so let's go to Ashoma now. Na Jemima is on the line. Good evening to you, Na.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, welcome to Strong and Sassy.
Thank you very much. I've been listening to the program, and the ladies there have been really inspiring. I personally know Uncle Cole, the co-partner for Wegana. And very true. I remember I used to work with her at the call center, and she had this flair for designing her own clothing and the rest. And I remember when she talked about resigning and then going to fashion. Well, we prayed and we look up to God. And today she's partnered with Irabna, her very good friend, and they are doing a really good job. And I'm proud of the two of them.
All right. Thank you so much.
Nice,
Jemima.
one of our favorite customers now.
Your regular customers. Okay, so I have a few of your comments here, your messages. This one says, Al from Tema says, doing what you like to get what you want is fulfillment. Oh, that's profound. Doing what you like to get what you want is fulfillment. I quit 25 years ago to be on my own, and it's been challengingly exciting. Okay, hi, kudos to you guys. I really like your courage. It's not really easy. 2 years ago, I started a private school that employs 10 teachers. Charlie, the difficulties were too hard, so I have to close it down. It's not easy at all. From DeGraft inside Kisseman. Oh, DeGraft. Too bad. We'll come back to your messages and keep your calls coming through. We have Stephen on the line now. Hello, Stephen.
Yeah, hello.
Good evening. Good evening to you. Where are you calling from?
From North Legon.
Okay, all right. Stephen from North Legon is back on the line. So what's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, it's been a great program you're having there. I'm actually calling on behalf of a friend for whom I want you to encourage. Because she's in a 8 to 5 job and is trying to do something on the side. But it looks as if things are not going the way she expected. Actually, she's into bread baking. And the marketing has become a problem, product quality and all that. And this is devastating. She's listening on the line as we speak. In fact, she's by me. So I want your panelists to just...
So why don't you allow her to speak for herself? What's her name? She's shy?
The name is Ansuma.
Ansuma?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we speak to her?
Yeah. If you want to speak to her, that's okay too.
Yeah. Let's speak to her.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Ansuma.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Okay, so please lower the volume on your set. We're getting some feedback.
Okay.
Great, it's better now. So we understand you're also an entrepreneur. So what challenges are you facing? And do you have any questions for my guests?
Mine has to do with marketing. Because I'm doing normal work, it's becoming very challenging because you produce the bread, you have to go out there, give it out to the shops, and it has not been easy. Sometimes you go, they will tell you, I have bread, yesterday's is still available, it's not finished, and you just don't know what to do with what you have done.
Are you thinking of quitting?
You have to get to work at 8. Sometimes you are late and you have problems with your bosses. And
So what's the concern? Do you want to give up?
sometimes it feels like.
Okay.
But I have great passion for it too. I don't know what to do.
Exactly. Don't give up. I'm sure Ivy has something to say about that. Ivy, a word of encouragement for our listener on the line.
Hi. So it's my mom ran a bakery, so I know how tough it is to run a bakery because you are in there from start to finish
All right.
of the product. So I can appreciate why you are saying that it's difficult to mix this with your 9 to 5. A time might come when you want to make a choice. But no rush. Please keep going.
Keep going.
Please keep going.
Good advice there. Okay, we have one last caller. Roy is calling from Tema. Hello, Roy.
Hello.
Hi, Roy.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I just want to make a quick contribution to the
Okay,
program,
very
the
quickly.
great show. Yes. Some of us are entrepreneurs. We try our best to try and employ people and all the rest of it. But some of these government agencies, especially the Food and Drugs Board and the GRA and all that, they don't make it very easy for us to be sustainable, if you like. And I would just like to give kudos to the girls who are really trying to make this happen. But then the government agencies also need to do their bit to try and help us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Good point
Food
there,
and Drug
Roy.
Board in particular, you import goods into the country which are good, and you have problems. Meanwhile, you have inferior products on the market.
Yeah,
You
government
understand
agencies
that,
must be up and doing. They really must be supportive of small businesses. But let me come to our WhatsApp messages. This is an interesting message targeted. It says it's from James in Nungwa, and he says, "Hi Araba, good evening to you and your beautiful guest in the studios. As a form of mischief, I just wish I could know the age of the tech lady because she sounds so innocent and really, really young. And the fact that she holds masters in none other course than mathematics. Really? That's amazing for a woman to achieve in our Ghanaian setting. Look, I'm just too inspired this evening by the stories of these three wise women. Even though I just started university at a later age, I will keep this advice by me, always to spark myself up anytime those ugly feelings to relent pop up. I am inspired." And that's from James in Nungwa. And this one says, "Araba, congratulations." Congratulations to your ladies. Yes, they're from good homes. It's easy when you don't have much responsibility. Rent to pay, mouths to feed. I think they've addressed that already. Kudos to you, ladies. I'm glad I tuned in today. I work in one of the banks and I've been wanting to leave and go into a smoothies and healthy food business for myself, but I've been really scared of the unknown. You ladies have just motivated me. So in December, I will hang my boots in the bank. Then this is from Sasha in Ogbojo. A round of applause for Sasha. Okay, all right. We're almost out of time, but I'm going to give you 30 seconds each to just wrap up. What's next for you and any advice for upcoming entrepreneurs?
Okay, my advice is pay now, play later. And that's a mantra I've lived by ever since I started my business. So it's better to sacrifice now so that you can have a better life future. And yes, so hi to all my ladies. I know they are listening to me now.
What about your age? You know? Okay.
You know, it's not right for ladies to give her age.
Yes.
Yeah.
See her behind chambers. Okay, Mabel.
So first, I would like to say that entrepreneurship is not for everybody. I mean, we are here talking. People want to quit their 9 to 5. It's not everyone who can be an entrepreneur. So if it's for you, fine. If not, just stay in your 9 to 5. And then also to all those who are already in this, nothing good comes easy. So despite the challenges, let's build a legacy.
All right.
And if you don't have a Wear Ghana outfit yet, a gigi, please go on the website, wearghana.com. We're on Facebook, Wear Ghana, WEAR Ghana. And there's this one last thing. We keep saying we don't pay ourselves. And what we are really saying is we are paying ourselves very little. No, even if it's 1 CD, please record it and know that you are spending 1 CD out of the... Otherwise, you say, I'm not paying myself. But the day you sit to take stock, you realize, wow, I spent 1,000 CDs and I didn't even know it. So all the best and vim to every entrepreneur.
Vim to everybody. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you to Mabel Simpson. Thank you to Abna Ajiman. And thank you to Ivy Bale, who's not disclosing her age. And thank you all for listening. My name is Ara Coombs, and National returns next week. This has been Strong and Sassy.
I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, scared to rock